Okay, so it's like, Jim, we have a problem. We have a pandemic. And you'd be like, oh
In
no.
my pants?
That'd be a fun one, but it's like, from Plague Inc.? No. This time it's an insurgency from Rebels Inc.
From my pants?
Yes, they actually call themselves Operation From My Pants.
Not in my pants. It's a pandemic, and it's everywhere. In my pants.
In your pants.
In your pants.
In your pants.
Rebels Incorporated. In your pants. Everything gets better when it's in your pants.
I rebel in my pants.
He rebelling. He's rebelling. It's like, just add monkeys in my pants. Have
You know, it is
ever
kind
noticed everything's better in your pants?
It is kind of funny
Anyways.
how 2020 has both the Plague and the Rebels.
It's got the best games, but it's also got the most debt.
It's got the best of both games.
In my pants.
And they have you in your
Anyways.
pants. Yeah, they have you in your pants.
I felt in some ways this game was more interesting than the pandemic, but it feels like it's harder. I saw you get like, I was like, hey, his stability is going up. He should be winning.
Yeah.
And then you're like, click, click, click. I'm buying like support for my troops and sending them to kick some asses.
Because the insurgents are fucking shit up.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that I chose this game after the Plague Incorporated because I thought, hey, how different is this? And it really does feel different. Like, I feel like it's not quite as immediate. I don't know.
No, it actually kind of does. Like, the only familiarity I see is the hex-based skill tree.
I feel like I think with the pandemic, maybe it's because it's an issue that's like, I wouldn't say closer to home, but because it's like on a grander scale, I feel like the Rebels Incorporated, it doesn't feel as traumatic. I don't know, does that make any sense?
I guess so.
I think it's also because of our experiences, right? Because, you know, Canada's relatively stable.
Yeah.
So I guess this is sort of like foreign to us, so it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't help that it is set in like unlike with pandemic where you can just
be anywhere.
Where it could be in the entire settings the
that's what I
world.
was feeling.
This is more like this is somewhere in like some third world country
Yeah.
where it's like
I think if we were playing in a third world country, we'd be like, damn, this is like
way
here
too
every
close
day."
to home. Especially
Yeah.
if we're in a situation like what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I think that's why it's not as immediate. I think it's well designed. It's hard to criticize the game because it goes so fast. Like, I found, maybe I'm incorrect in this, but I feel like the game goes faster than the pandemic game, which doesn't make sense really to me. Because I thought the pandemic game, like, you would lose faster in that, but I guess it's more gradual.
Yeah.
Does it even make any sense? I don't know.
No, I think you have some sort of point.
Yeah.
It feels a lot more gradual than pandemic sometimes.
Yeah. I think, like, since it is an uprising, yeah, it doesn't feel as urgent to me, because it doesn't feel like, you know, it's not a worldwide crisis. It feels like, oh, this is like a small plot of land, and like the issues are just really contained. Where with
Pandemic,
Plague Incorporated,
yeah.
I feel like they tell you like, oh, in China there's this many cases, and like
In
you're
Japan.
getting like, I feel like the way the game is designed, it's like it's sort of developed to cause panic.
Whereas
to
with this, it's
freak out.
more like, hey, everything's gonna go well. You're
The scope is definitely, I feel like, a lot.
You're making
more
life happy for the
micro.
villagers. You're making
Yeah.
everything well. Hey, look, there's some insurgents from the other side of the
It
globe
seems like
fucking shit
it
up.
feels like Sim Town meets like a realistic Sim Town to me, rather than where like, oh, the whole world is going to hell.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like to me. So I didn't feel like, oh, I lost. It's like, oh well, I guess.
oh
There
well.
goes that country.
Like I remember, yeah, like I decided like immediately to try again after I lost,
Yeah.
instead of like what happened with Plague Inc.
Yeah, I found with this, like, it doesn't feel, I wouldn't say it doesn't feel as essential, but I feel like you would start with Plague Inc., and if you really like that, you're gonna try this. They're just different. Like the scope's different. the graphics are similar, but like just the way that what you have to do with what your responsibilities are, it's very different. Even though it seems like it's the same engine and similar kind of game, I definitely give it, like, there's nothing quite like both Plague Inc. and Rebels Incorporated. I feel like there's nothing else on this level. Like, there's some games that are like this, but not
Things that are like extreme.
I feel like it's not, you don't get to play a game like this. Like, there's SimCity and there's a few different SimCity clones, but there's not really like a game that's developed on like such a larger level.
Or like a Sim Fascist.
Yeah, this is kind of like Sim Fascist, Sim Cuba slash.
Sim Libya.
Yeah, and Plague Incorporated feels like a
Sim Corona.
Yeah, Sim COVID-19, Sim 2020. So, I'd recommend this if you can get it for cheap. I think I paid like 10 or 15. I'm not sure about that. It's good, but I feel like it's not as you know, I wouldn't rush out to get this. Unless you really, really enjoyed Plague Incorporated, I feel like, you know, buy this if you get it on cheap. Because it's interesting, but it's not as interesting. It's like a step less.
I give it a 9 anyways.
You're not going to give it a perfect 10?
Nah, I feel
Okay.
I'm saving those 10s for a certain game later down the line.
Alright, well, I give it an 8. It's not bad. I just feel like, you know, it's not as essential. I wanted to feel the same way as Plague Inc. That when it blew me away when it came out, but I'm just not feeling it. Yeah.
I'm not feeling it!
Yeah, I'm gonna rebel and not give it a 10 out of 10.
You know what I am really feeling though? Little Jimmy's cock!
In my pants!
Rebel in your pants! Keep on rebelling in your pants!